Hi everybody, in the next 15 minutes we are going to focus on the most important information about databases, spreadsheets and emails. Okay, let's start. So, let's start with databases. What is a database? A database is an organized collection of data. Data are organized into fields and records. This is why they are very useful when you have to store a large amount of data and you have to find them quickly. Okay? So well-structured databases are very important. They usually look like this. There is a table which is made up of column and rows. Each column contains is a field and each row is a record. Okay, the key field in this case it is the yellow one, the yellow cell here with cognome surname, and it contains an item of data that is unique to that record. Okay, the item of data can be, for example, the number 29 here in the last column. Okay, so how can I create a database? First of all, I have to decide what field I need. After that, I name it, and the name is like a sort of description of its content. Then I give each field a data type. This is very important because different processes can be performed on different types of data. They can be text, like characters, integers, like whole numbers, for example 23 or 29, as we already see, 8 for everything you want, or dates. There are two main kinds of databases, relational databases and non-relational databases. Relational databases store the data in separate tables and files, okay? As we can see here in the picture below. All the data is linked together by the key field, which is called attribute in the picture. And the database management system controls who can access what, okay? When we search for something, and we are, for example, there is this DMS that controls what kind of information I am allowed to see, okay? If I am, for example, a customer of a company and I want to see information about the product, I can do it, but the database management system doesn't let me know information about the cost of making them. Okay, so this is the thing. What are the advantages of this kind of database? The advantages are that these relational databases are very flexible and powerful because it is possible to ask questions about data from almost any perspective. Okay, to do this, they use a special language which is called Structured Query Language, SQL, also pronounced as SQL. Now let's see non-relational databases. In non-relational databases, table data can be stored in a single document file, okay? Because a non-relational database does not incorporate the table model. While relational databases organize structured data fields into defined columns. Okay, so if there is a specific field, all data are structured in fields and in specific columns. Non-relational databases are, for example, flat file databases, where all the data is organized sequentially and into one table, and we can see them opening only one data file. Or network databases, which are used for extremely complex relationships of data. They are very complex to develop and maintain. While the last kind is the object-oriented databases, and they can be used for unusual types of data. They can retrieve data and they can perform analysis on them. What are the most important advantages and disadvantages of databases? The advantages is that with a database you can have an efficient and fast way to store data. You don't need much storage space if you use a database. Data are easy and quick to be found, and you can easily perform calculations. The disadvantages are that large databases are very expensive. Okay, so the costs are very high. The hardware and software costs are very high. And users are not able to use them properly. To do that, they have to be trained. They need to be trained. Okay, so now let's talk about spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are commonly known as clever calculators, okay? In fact, you can use them to process data in a structured way. Data can be number as well as text. What can I do with a spreadsheet? I can, for example, record data. I can search for particular items of data. I can perform calculations. I can produce graphs and charts. They are usually made up of rows and columns, which divide the sheet into individual cells. To identify each cell, I can use the column letter and the row number as they were coordinates. Each cell can contain just one information. Okay? Information can be numerical data, like numbers, dates, or money. Text data, such as people's name, occupation, the titles of the books, etc. Text data can be sorted into alphabetical order to find them quickly. Okay, so this is a process that spreadsheets can perform. Formulas their data can be formulas. Formulas show the results of calculations inside the cell. But okay, so we said that we can, with a spreadsheet, we can perform calculation. But we have to pay attention to the fact that cells with text are always considered as cells with only text data, even if there is a number inside it. But if there is text, they will always be considered as text data. It means that they always have the numerical value of 0. So if a cell contains text, its value will be 0. Okay, so we cannot perform calculation using this kind of cells. To type text or number in our cells, in our spreadsheet, we can use different italics, different fonts. We can use italics, bold type, different colors, exactly as when we use a word processor. Okay? Furthermore, in some spreadsheets, it is also possible to insert graphics, videos, and sounds. Some spreadsheets allow conditional formatting. If the content of a cell meets certain conditions, the format of that cell changes. For example, if we decide that cells that contain negative numbers should be red, every time we insert or the calculator perform a negative number, the cell turns red because we decided it. Okay, the last part of our lesson is about email. What is an email? An email is a very easy way to send messages and documents from one computer to another, usually using a PC connected to the internet. Okay? So, to send emails, you can also use a web-based email, or whether you need an ISP, so an internet service provider, or you can use a web-based email. In this way, you don't need to be connected to a particular ISP, but you can easily email from any online computer all over the world. You just need the internet connection. How can I create an email? First of all, I have to write my message. To do that, I can use a word processor or directly the email software on the computer. Normally, I use the email software on the computer. I use Hotmail and I type my text directly here. After that, we have to make sure that our computer is connected to the internet. If not, we have to connect it. Once the message is ready, we press the send button and the message goes from the sender's ISP to a mailbox in the computer of the recipient's ISP. Okay? In this way, the receiver can open our message and if he wants it, he can download it. But we can also include other kind of files to our email, to our text. In fact, we can also send attachments. Okay? They can be, for example, images, documents, PDF, Word documents, or videos. But be careful before you open an attachment, because especially if they are unexpected, we should better treat them with suspicion, because they can contain a virus. So if it is possible, it would be better to view it without you fully download it. Okay, last thing is, how do emails look like? They normally look like this. languageschool@blah-blah-blah.edu.uk. Language school is of course the name. Is at. Blah 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 is the service provider or the company's name, for example Yahoo, Hotmail, etc. Edu stands for educational. If we find gov, it stands for government. If we find co, it stands for commercial. So it depends on what kind of email we are using, what kind of service we are using. UK stands for United Kingdom. If we find, for example, IT, it stands for Italy. Okay, I hope it is everything clear, and so bye bye, see you next time with another lesson.